So thank you so much for this great interview. What I would like to do now, and the way that we sort of set up this show is, obviously it's an educational show. So what we really want to do is draw out some conclusions for the audience and obviously viewers who will watch the episode later online or our YouTube channel, to really pinpoint the key insights or like the valuable lessons or knowledge of what we really learned today. So this is sort of like a little intermezzo with key takeaways. So what did we learn today? What was really interesting for me? I think the concept of rewilding and this whole initiative to connect back to ourselves through this human connectedness with Mother Nature, and why it's important and how it really brings us back to our primal self and primal instincts to reinvigorate something, not just, you know, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, but also these like deep visceral like sensitivities and sensualities, and the fact that we are a part of nature and then we are nature, and bringing all into a context of the world that we live in. Because as you said, Luca, we are living this like cut off, completely decontextualized life. You know, you don't really know how to read maps anymore because we are just looking at Google Maps, right? So you know how to get from A to B, but then you are not really perceiving cities in some kind of like a real landscape kind of way, so that you can see the terrain and you understand the connectedness, and then what's your place in it. You sort of see, okay, so I have an interest to get from A to B and maybe then go to C, and then I step by D and then I go back home. And it's just like we are completely living this like decontextualized linear kind of life, and that's not really what we're supposed to be doing, or how Mother Earth or nature was built. You know, it was built for us to experience things in context and sort of have some kind of impact on us, to constantly have this two-way relationship of, you know, understanding the cause and effect, and how, like, who we are in context of nature, and how we feel, and then like it brings out some kind of, you know, insights or learnings or something, and that's how we evolve, that's how we grow. But if we are constantly just obsessed with technology, and that is our primary source of knowledge or like reliance in the world, then we are not learning anything really.
We have to reawaken our curiosities and become more explorers, as opposed to doing the same rote things over and over again.
Yeah. And then also that call for, you know, becoming wild again. I really like that.
I love that too.
Lately, I've been really connecting with that like wildness, like that inner wilderness, and I definitely have felt much better now than I felt ever before, I have to say. Okay, so that's for the rewilding. Then what else did we learn? What I found absolutely fascinating is how far we can really go in business or in the world when we fully embrace the concept of cultural immersion. And obviously how rich it is and how many different elements it covers, right? So it's not just about the physical environment, it's also the spirit of the place, the genius loci. It's also about, you know, ethical sourcing and ethical production. So having some kind of respect to the place, and using the raw materials that have some kind of, you know, logical, natural connection to the place where you are. It's also about bringing together the local customs and the people and the tribes, the traditions, to create a meaningful experience that fully brings the place to life, and obviously then brings you to life while you're in it. And it has some kind of like, it mediates not just like a meaningful experience that is about the culture and the place and the gorgeous location and the resort, but it mediates that inner experience that moves you and transforms you somehow, so that you are not really the same person when you leave that you were the person when came to that place. You wanted to say something as well? You wanted to add something to that?
No, I think you said it perfectly.
What else? What other learnings or key
Simplicity.
insights? Huh?
Simplicity. Luxury is a simplicity is luxury. We don't need fancy things. We need to go to the basics.
Oh,
Simplicity.
that's right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you said.
simplicity.
That the new luxury is really coming back to basics and coming back to roots, because
But
that
still
is,
have the comfort because and be safe, and this is very important. Um, but simplicity is, I think, is important.
hmm.
And where hospitality becomes a discovery.
Hmm.
It's not about reading a book at the pool or see a beautiful something. It's really let yourself and discover the journey.
Beautiful.
Right, right. Because it unfolds. You just like happen to tap into it, but no matter if you're there or you're not there, it still goes on. So it's just like this
Indeed.
awareness of impermanence, really,
Mhm.
which is another completely different level to this experience. So see, this is like so rich. There's
Very
like
rich.
there's so many elements to it, in a way that it moves you and enriches you, and like there's so many different facets to like a meaningful experience. And I love that. That's actually the reason why we started the show, because obviously I'm an abstract thinker, cultural thinker, so I love concepts. But what I really love is to dive deep into a concept and really unpack what it means. And the more we are able to dive into these concepts with obviously different guests on this show, the more I understand how absolutely rich everything is. But people are just like keep talking about, yeah, that's an authentic experience, that's a cultural immersion, that's a meaningful experience, and you never really fully tap into what it means and unpack all these different layers of how it moves you. So that's where these things really become interesting. That's what it's all about, not just, oh, we do authentic experiences as well. That's not what it's all about.
We should stop
um
saying we do authentic experiences. Like we should stop saying we are sustainable. Because if you needed to mention it, means that
yeah,
maybe it's not, you don't do it properly.
yeah.
Mhm.
And also all experiences are authentic experiences by definition. So like, what is an inauthentic experience? It's like that would be like an experience that I don't really know. Like you would have to like manufacture it somehow and then push people through some kind of milestones of how you're supposed to feel and act, and then it's not experience, then it's like a script. So yeah, all experiences I think are authentic experiences.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the last thing that I really love, and you didn't mention it, but Angela mentioned it actually, is this shift in perception from the 5-star hotel to the 5 billion-star hotel. So it's like that this notion that you're gaining, obviously, you're gaining much more, you're gaining many more stars for your investment, but also like from the point of view of what you were talking about with rewilding, is like we are taking you out of this context of civilization where everything is about the status and like scales, and is it 3 stars, is it 5 stars, is it 7 stars, how many more stars can we get to? But then you know taking you out of the context and then actually opening your eyes to the fact that the whole world is full of stars, you're just not looking at them. So it's like the complete natural state for a human being, to be in, to just look at the stars. But we, for some reason, just forgot to do that. And then we started, counting stars, like Michelin stars, or, stars with hotels or other stars. So now celebrities are stars. Everything is a star. But then, like, the original star, is the one in the sky, and we're not really looking at them. So I find it to be like an absolutely beautiful reframe to the experiences that
Yes.
you're offering.
And I think
Let's
that wraps
go,
up our
let's go
take.
and let's go and have a travel because it's, I think we are all here ready to go.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for today and for sharing all this knowledge and insights and everything, us being able to learn more about what you do. We have learned a lot, and we absolutely hope their audience today has learned a lot too.